Good morning. This is Coach Candy. Welcome to Coffee Chats. Welcome. It is Thursday morning. I am super excited. This has been incredibly awesome having all of you join me every morning at 7:30 a.m. Central Time. As I've said before, I will be here. Good morning, Deborah. I will be here every day, Monday through Friday. We are going to do some different things each day, different themes, and we're going to have some great conversation and have a little coffee while we're at it. I'm already halfway through mine. Good morning, Terry. Good morning, ladies. We are going to do a Thursday throwdown, which actually I think I might change a little bit moving forward, because typically Monday is Monday mindset. So this is how to set intention and get your week moving and really get the right mindset, beliefs, things that are going to help you kick some serious butt and be really intentional and purposeful and show up full out in your week. So Monday mindset's still going to say the same. Good morning, Martha. Tuesday training. This is where we're going to do a little training segment. I'm going to give you something to dig into, something that's a little meaty, perhaps some discipline or habits or things to really significantly level up your game, your day, things in your business. Wednesday is still our Imagine If space, so it's Wednesday Wonder. We are going to get into that space of dancing and the possibilities. We did that yesterday. Thursday has been the Thursday Throwdown. And I'm starting to think, because I actually have been playing some of the videos. Good morning, Elaine. I love seeing you ladies show up every day. This is fantastic. So I think instead of Thursday Throwdown, because technically I'm kind of giving you a challenge every day we connect. So there's a throwdown every day. Oh, thank you so much, Terry. I got a big speaking engagement at 11 this morning, so I'm already kind of prepped and getting ready to go. I'm speaking to a good financial group. Destroy the noise, so we're gonna have some fun. But instead of Thursday Throwdown, I think we're gonna do Thursday's tools and tips, so that I can share some apps, I can share some tools, I can share some actual things that are different than Feature Friday, because Feature Friday is really gonna be sharing those podcasts, those books, and I have decided I'm going to invite some guests to join us so that we can learn from others, not just from me as well. And so I think I'm gonna change Thursday Throwdown to Thursday Tools and Tips. Gotta figure that out. So I'm curious what y'all think, because technically I am giving you a throwdown every day. I am still gonna do a throwdown today in the spirit of Thursday Throwdown, but I think I'm just gonna add a challenge every day. So then we're just gonna get a daily throwdown, and that'll be awesome. So curious, good morning. I posted my playlist to yesterday's thread. Awesome. Got my hands on Go Giver by Bob Burg, and I'm halfway through it. Is it not an amazing book? Oh, I love that book. It so lights me up. And I have another amazing treasure I'm going to share with you. And like I said, this is one we're going to dig into over the next couple morning coffee chats, couple weeks. We're really going to dig into some content, because the book I'm going to share with you tomorrow is truly in my top 5. And so I want us to really dive deep. There's just so much goodness that I couldn't possibly share it all on one of these calls. So I want to break it down so that it's much easier. Good morning, Terry. Good morning, Lisa. Love that you ladies are here. So in the spirit of Thursday Throwdown today, and like I said, I think I'm going to shift out of that space to create tips. Yes, awesome. Thank you, Elaine. Tips and tools for Thursday instead, and then just have a throwdown every day. So this way you'll still get your throwdowns, but you're going to get a daily challenge or an invitation to do something that's going to significantly move the needle for you. And so we'll have daily dose of throwdowns, and we will change Thursdays to tools and tips so that I can keep giving you more stuff that's going to be high value to really significantly help you create different discipline, create that space where you're caring for yourself. We've done a lot of discussion over the last 2 weeks about your bookends and self-love and making sure that you're making you a priority. And so I love the Thursday Throwdown for the big challenge. Ah, all right, well, you know, I could still keep the big challenge as a Thursday Throwdown, and maybe we'll just do Throwdown tips and tricks, right? I'm just gonna keep playing with alliterations. We'll figure it out because there's going to be a challenge every day in some way. And I agree with Terry. I do like having the big kind of meaty one that really pushes you out of your space. So we're just going to play with this. That's one of the beautiful things about this space is we can keep kind of massaging and working it through and seeing what works. And I want to continue to get feedback. I want to know what you guys want to hear. There's so much I can share with you that I want to make sure that it's really relevant and that it's what's going to help you move the needle forward. So even if there's additional things that I haven't laid out in terms of what we're going to do each week and each day, I welcome and invite you to share some thoughts, insights, feedback. You can do it on the threads, you can do it on the page, or if you just want to send me a message personally, please do so, because I want to make sure that these calls have an incredible amount of value for you. I've noticed that since we've started, these calls have gone about 30 minutes, and that's 30 minutes of your time that I really hold as a sacred space. And I honor the fact that you're taking that space in the morning to join me for these coffee chats. And I want to make sure that what you're getting is really, really valuable so that you're getting a huge return on investment for that time. And so good morning, Myra. I really want to make sure that everything that we're doing is adding high value. So welcome the thoughts, would love the feedback. So anyway, for today's Thursday throwdown, since we're still in that space and we're going to keep it in that space, I want to talk a little bit about gratitude. And I want to talk about a challenge in the space of gratitude that will really truly help you both from a self-love perspective as well as a nurturing and building deeper relationships. And so I think I've mentioned it a couple times on the call already that gratitude is without a doubt the single most powerful space you can be in, gratitude and love. And so when anything's going on, even if it's things that you're like, I'm feeling challenged, it's feeling tough, know that putting yourself in a place of gratitude, even for the appreciation of the fact that you are given the opportunity to go through that. And it's interesting because I heard a quote once that said something about always be grateful for the journey itself. The stickiness, the ickiness, the really heavy trials and tribulations, that's the stuff that we have the opportunity to be most grateful for. And because that's where the growth, that's where the magic happens. And you know, I said this a couple of days ago, the growth doesn't happen when we're whining, we're grinding, we're moving, we're hustling. It happens in the stillness. It happens when we're in the ick oftentimes, because we then have to seek out the tools, the resources, the space we need to move through that. And so I truly believe, and regardless of if you believe in God, Spirit, Tao, Source, one of my mastermind groups, because we struggle sometimes with what to call that space. We joke that we call it Penelope. Whatever you choose to call your higher self, your higher plane, your level of spirituality, know that everything that's come to you has been given because you will be given the tools to get through it. And so the saying that if God brought you to it, God will bring you through it, is absolutely, if you really look at everything that you've done over the course of however many years you've been alive, you've been very successful in the fact that you've always overcome those challenges. At some point after you got stuck in the ick, you were given the tools, the resources, the know-how to get through that challenge so that you could arrive where you're at right now. And the more you put yourself in a place of gratitude, the more you start deliberately sharing practices of gratitude, the more you open up access to get those tools, those resources, those things faster. And it helps keep your mindset focused on the end game. You know, Stephen Covey always said, keep the end in mind. And for those of you that have watched The Secret, I watch it like almost every week. I watch that and The Shift constantly. Many of you know The Shift is my absolute favorite movie. I watched that so many times that you'd think I could just like recite the whole thing by now. And I'm finding like little things I haven't noticed in it because I've watched it so many times. But those movies are all about visualizing that kind of space of where you want to go, what you want to open up access for. And the more you drop into a space of gratitude, as if it's already available to you, as if it's already here, that's where all the magic and the power happens. And so one of the things that I want to talk about in terms of gratitude is bringing us back to a space where we deeply connect with other people. It's amazing how we've created a culture right now where we are so disconnected. There's this culture of entitlement. There's this culture of complaining and commiserating, whining, blaming. We've gotten so disconnected from that human element, which is robbing us of kindness, compassion, grace on a global scale. And so little gestures of gratitude can significantly start to create ripples. And so I had posted the vibration chart, the energy chart, a couple days ago when we were talking about that on the page. It was in the thread. I'm happy to share that again. But you'll notice that love, gratitude, joy, those are very high vibration levels. And when you play in that space, you create a ripple that starts to elevate humanity, elevate the energy of the world. And it's interesting because I just had a podcast interview that I did where she was like, how did she say? She said, you're emotional, you're energetic, how did she say? It was so beautiful. But it was like your energetic landscape, your energetic platform, your energetic being. When you're elevating that, you help other people do that the same way. Same thing as when we get caught into that really negative space. But what's so fascinating is it takes far less positive to lift us up than it does negative, because the vibration and the energetic level are so different. And so good morning, Mario. Let's see, Terry, in neuroscience, the reward center in your brain loves shame and guilt and gratitude equally, which is why we get stuck in those negative cycles. Our brain loves reward. It is so easy though to get out of the negative by giving our brain gratitude, and it's equally as happy. Yeah, it's actually really amazing how much in your brain, first of all, not even an emotion. Shame is a real emotion. Guilt is a mindset. And so I want you to realize that guilt's not actually an emotion. It's a mindset. It's a belief, and it's a story that you've created that stems from that place of shame. And yes, most of the reason why we get sucked into that negative cycle is because we are half awake. We're not being intentional. We're not doing the self-care and self-love for ourselves, and we're not deeply connecting with other human beings. Deeply connecting, not complaining and commiserating and creating a culture of who can outsuck who. And that is our culture. Think about the conversations that go on right now. Oh, I'm so busy. Oh, I have 4,000 plates I'm spinning and my life sucks. You have no idea everything that I have to get done. That's person A. Person B is like, oh, please, you think you're busy? Let me tell you how busy I am. Please, you got 4,000 plates, I got 5, and my life sucks worse than yours. We have created this metric in our society that says who can outsuck who. And it's become this competition of, my life is heavier than yours, I'm so much busier, therefore I win. Actually, therefore you lose. It's a crazy equation that we play that says, let me see if I can outcompete, outsuck somebody else, instead of taking time to really connect at a level that's meaningful and powerful. And so the throwdown today is really going to be centered in that space of, oh, I love that, Mario. We're going to be centered in the space of gratitude in terms of creating those courageous, connected conversations and those courageous connections with other human beings and with ourselves. And gratitude is such a powerful space to create connection. Powerful is a gift of love, or gratitude is a gift of love, and that's extremely powerful. We get sucked into those negative cycles that you're talking about, Terry, because we are half awake. We're numb to what's going on. We've checked out. We don't want to take responsibility. We're not taking the care to do our bookends so that we can decide who we are and how we want to show up and serve. And so we get caught up in this vicious cycle of, oh, it's just easier to connect with other people. And it's interesting because I was just sharing this yesterday as I was doing one of my podcast interviews. I had a client once, and this is the reality of where we live. And this is the reality of why people get sucked into those spaces of shame and guilt and worry and anxiety and fear. Because here's where there's fear for people. I had a client who was really struggling to move forward. She really wanted to own this space. And we kept having this conversation where I said, what is holding you back? What are you afraid of? And she would give me some surface level kind of BS, and we would go through it. And I'm like, okay, what are you really afraid of? And it kept going. And then finally, and I've said this sometimes when I've done speaking engagements, and the whole audience laughs. And sometimes it's the uncomfortable laugh, and sometimes people laugh because they think it's funny. And I want you to hear what she said. She said, what if I don't have anything to complain about? And I want you to let that sit for a minute. Think about that. What if I don't have anything to complain about? Like I said, I tell this in front of audiences all the time, and they'll start laughing. And I said, Think about that though. And I asked her, I said, so what about you not having something to complain about? She said, then who would I talk to? Because the reality and the realization of her entire network was people that she was complaining and commiserating with. And there's real fear for people of, what if I lose my inner circle? What if I can't talk to my family? What if I can't talk to my partner? What if I choose this path of gratitude and abundance and joy, and I stop the blaming and justification and rationalization and complaining? If I stop complaining and I don't have anything to complain about, who am I going to connect with? And what we don't realize is we've allowed ourselves to get stuck in a lower vibration that's keeping us under. We have allowed ourselves to tell ourselves a story and make an excuse. Because here's the thing, and I know we talked about this last week, and Terry was so gracious to share the poem from Marianne Williamson that says, it is not our light, but it is not our, my brain just completely shut down. Anyway, it's the fact that we are not afraid of failure. We're afraid of our magnificent light. We're afraid to stand in a space to own that. And what we don't realize is when we choose to stand in that light, we give others permission to do the same. And so it is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us most. It is that space of, if I show up at the highest, best way possible, what if nobody around me does the same? And I had another client that said that, and she's like, Candy, that's great. And I understand that you don't even allow those people in your life, but I don't even think that's possible. And we were up in Milwaukee, and I said, great, what are you doing tonight? She said, I don't know. I said, come to happy hour with me. And there was probably 50 people there because I was in town and I had kind of corralled the troops. And she's like, I didn't even know this many people existed in Milwaukee that thought this. And I said, because you're looking at the wrong filter. It's kind of like if you keep looking for the, Ford Ranger truck at the stoplight, and you keep thinking about how many Ford Ranger trucks you've seen. Guess what? You're going to keep seeing Ford Ranger trucks versus, man, I really want to see an Audi Q5 and blah. It's all a matter of what you change your filter to. So if you put yourself in a place of gratitude, you're going to see and feel more things to be grateful for, versus if you get sucked into that space of that negative shame cycle, that worry, that fear, that anxiety, you're going to find more things to complain about. And so let me see, some of you are posting, and I love this. This is so true. Mario, here's something I posted in the OFA group. Yes, I remember seeing that. There's really no hard skill to communicating. We all know how to talk, hopefully. Communication is all about mindset and presence. Good communication comes from a place of understanding and compassion without judgment or fear. Amen. Whenever you post anything or want to comment on people's posts, put a soft smile on your face when you type and think about the things you are grateful for. Your empathy will come across in your writing, and you will feel yourself pouring out love and kindness in your words. I love that. That actually makes me tear up and get chills. I tell people that when they're doing phone interviews or when they're cold calling or when they're doing anything, is to stand up, smile, and find that space. I visualize my dog, and I visualize that space that is so open and fulfilling for me. And then I get on the phone, and that's the way I show up for people. If you think that sounds dumb, then you're already coming from a place of judgment and fear. Yes, I need you to open up, take a deep breath, and let people feel the good intentions and kindness in your words. Smile, feel gratitude, and then type. That is such a power. Thank you, Mario, for sharing that. That is so powerful. That is so extremely powerful. And it plays into what we talked about yesterday as well, that the wonder space was, imagine if you allowed yourself to be wide open from your heart space, wide open from your authentic self. Because when we stop, and I had somebody in one of my 3-day events, my Leaders Empowered Strong Summit last year, asked me this really incredible question, which was all around, what's the difference between self-deprecation and humility? And I remember when the question got asked, at first I wasn't sure how to respond. And so it was one of those that I put back out. I put out to my higher power and said, I need help in how to address this. So while I was letting myself drop into that and open up to receive the response, I put it back out to the group and said, I want to know what you guys think. This is a really powerful question. Let's put that out there. And as the conversation, which was really juicy, went around the room, I remember when it came back and I was able to kind of bring the conversation back to a point, I remember it just dropped in. And I get that all the time. When you're open like that too, when you're doing what Mario says, when you smile, feel gratitude, and type, and open yourself up from a heart space, what you need drops in. It just drops in. We get so worried about, what am I going to say? How am I going to position this? What am I going to? Stop. Allow it to feed you, allow it to drop in, allow it to be in that space. And I remember that what I had said, and sometimes when things drop in, I have to like listen to what I said and go, wow, what do I think of that? Like, that was it. And the message that came out was, it's all a matter of where you put yourself on the scale of self-worth. That's the difference between self-deprecation and humility. Humility says, I don't care about, I've let go of the fear of judgment and criticism. I choose to show up as I am. I know who I am. I don't need to boast, brag, or over embellish. And I own what I've done to get to this point. I am very clear. I don't shy away from the fact that I consider myself to be an intelligent, educated. I consider myself to be an excellent coach. I consider myself to be a phenomenal trainer. And I don't say that from a place of bragging and boasting. I say that from a place of ownership so that I can show up and deliver in that space. I know the work that I've put in to arrive to this space. And that's a space of being able to have humility and say, I know who I am and I don't need to blast it all over everywhere. You don't see me touting everywhere. Hey, I'm this awesome person. Yet the way I show up is a reflection of that belief, because I have done the work in my own self-worth to allow myself to arrive at that space. Self-deprecation is on the other side of the scale that says I'm not worthy of owning who I am. And so when you understand that and you recognize that, it becomes really powerful. And so Terry, darkness, not our light that we are most afraid of. Yes, it is our darkness, not our light, that scares us most. Our deepest fear is that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us most. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened in shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure. Children, everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our own presence automatically liberates others. Thank you, Mario, for sharing that again. I love that Terry shared that last week, and I love that you guys keep connecting. That is one of my for life force messages. I think it is so powerful. We have, and I've said this before, if you believe that what you have, and there's that belief in self-worth that says what I have adds value to other people, then you have a moral obligation to show up and share that in every way possible. And when you recognize that and you drop into a space of gratitude for the gifts you've been given, every single one of us has a unique thumbprint, voice print, passion, energetic, footprint. We have an energetic footprint that is ours and ours alone. It's why, say, Terry or Mario and I could have the same script. We could get in front of the same audience. We could deliver with the same mannerisms, energy, everything. And different people will resonate with us simply because we can't fake energy. It's why some people will say, I don't even know why I like that person. That's my person. Or when you're like, they didn't do anything, but I just don't like that person. It's because your energies aren't matched. There's something fundamentally that is underneath in that energetic footprint that just isn't the right space. It's okay. You're not for everybody. Good morning, Angela. So Terry says the negative energy needs to be redirected and find the solution. Yes, and I would actually say it's a matter of lifting out of the negative energy. It's creating a choice so that you're not spinning in that negative energy at all. Remember when we talked about changing the what if to the imaginative? When that negative energy is showing up, ask yourself, what do I want to move towards instead? Because the negative energy is usually around a space of, I don't want this, I want to push away from this, there's a resistance. So if there's a resistance showing up, ask yourself what you want on the other side that releases the resistance. That's how you're going to shift out of that negative energy. Martha, gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos to order, confusion to clarity. It can turn a meal into a feast, a house into a home, a stranger into a friend. It turns problems into gifts, failures into successes, the unexpected into perfect timing, and mistakes into important events. Oh, love this. It can turn an existence into real life, and disconnected situations into important and beneficial lessons. Gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. Gratitude makes things right. Gratitude turns negative energy into positive energy. There is no situation or circumstance so small or large that it is not susceptible to gratitude's power. Oh, I'm getting like teared up. We can start with who we are and what we have today, apply gratitude, and then let it work its magic. Today I will shine the transforming light of gratitude on all the circumstances of my life. Wow, I've never seen that. Author Melody Beadle. That is powerful. I'm very emotional today. I'm about to go give a talk. Woo, should clean this stuff up. Happiness is an experience of living every minute with gratitude. Yes, I agree, Terry. Thank you, Martha, for sharing that, by the way. And Terry, so agree with that. And good morning, Kay. Welcome. Gratitude. And we're going to do a lot of work. I'm going to share a lot of different tools and ways that you can powerfully drop into gratitude. And so for today, for the Thursday Throwdown, this is the challenge that I want to offer you. And it's a two-part challenge. One, it's I want you over the next week, between now and next Thursday, I want you to be in a space where you purposely find something about yourself to have gratitude for. And it needs to be something different every day, and something that maybe you haven't explored about yourself, or something that maybe you've been a little self-deprecating or hard or negative or shamed about. I want you to really challenge yourself. And this might be where you want to get out that trusty journal. I love little journals like this. These fit in my purse and everything else. I get them on Amazon. They're fantastic. And I like that they don't have binders because I'm left-handed, so I don't have to, because you can really like open it wide and lay it flat. But this might be where you want to take a journal around with you, because I want you to notice things that maybe you haven't noticed before, or things that, like I said, may have been a challenging space for you. I want you to think about what you beat yourself up on every day. Maybe it's the way you look. Maybe it's the, extra weight you're carrying. Maybe it's how you've been showing up with people. I had a client yesterday. She's like, I feel like I've just been like mediocre showing up. And she's been really negative on herself. Great. Now I want you to have gratitude, even if it's just for the awareness of recognizing that you no longer want to show up that way. And now it's about excellence. So find this space on whatever's challenging you most. And I want you every day to find something that has been holding you back, something that you've been self-deprecating on, something that you are really mean to yourself, and you would be horrified if you heard another human being say that to someone else. I want you to find those spaces that are the icky underbelly that like you don't want anyone to see. I want you to get into where your shame is at. And I want you to find your gratitude in that space. So that's the first piece of the assignment. That's going to be a challenging assignment, because when you decide to stare your shame in the face and call it what it is, you take power away from it and take power back for yourself. And it requires that you look your shame straight in the eye. It requires that you have courage to stand in the space to say, I see you, shame. I see you, and let's talk about this. And so I want you to really get into that space that is your shame cycle, so that you can effectively start to call it out and reclaim your power back. And so I would suggest that you journal, do some other things. Mario, best ways to cultivate gratitude if you can't think of something is to just go donate either time or money. Oh, you're speaking into the second part of the challenge, to cause you to feel passionately about. They feel grateful that you had the capacity and ability to give to others, feel grateful that you were empowered enough to be generous, and feel that abundance. So that actually plays into, thank you for that, that actually plays into the second part of the challenge. The first piece is about you finding gratitude within your shame. And I'm going to say that again, because that in itself could be a trigger for some of you. And remember, if there's ever a time that you feel triggered, know that you have three options inside that space. One, you can decide to let the trigger win, which means that you're going to stay stuck. You're in the victim mentality. You're going to stay in a space that says, okay, whatever, I don't want to do this. You have every permission. That's your choice. So that is one of the things you can do when a trigger shows up. You can cop out. You can say, not for me. I don't want to deal with this right now. Okay, just know that that's a choice. When you play victim, it's a choice. The second thing you can do when a trigger shows up is to get curious about it. Is to exactly what I'm saying in this space. When you find gratitude in your shame, it's because you're getting curious about where the shame's coming from and what it really means for you, and what's the belief or the mindset that's attached to it. The third piece is if you're getting triggered by somebody, you can say, you know what? No, I really believe this. I am really convicted in that. And what you can do then is acknowledge that you know your beliefs and you stand firm in that. And then that trigger will no longer trigger you, because it's like water off a duck's back, where you're just like, okay, great. That's somebody else's opinion. It has nothing to do with me. So that's your three choices in that space. And as Mario's saying, the second part of the challenge, let's see what else everybody's saying. Myra, this is great challenge. I struggle with self-gratitude. Most of us struggle with self-gratitude. That also includes being able to say thank you, period, when someone gives you a compliment. Most of us have so much shame inside that space that I want you to start practicing being able to say thank you, period, complete sentence. Not, oh, thank you, I got this on sale at Target and it's really blah, 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 blah. Oh my God, stop justifying it. Or stop finding the need to give someone a compliment after they gave you a compliment. That is not receiving, and we're going to get into a big space about receiving and gratitude in another session. But exactly that, it's that self-gratitude to be able to say thank you. And sometimes it's just saying thank you to yourself. So that space of finding gratitude in your shame or your feeling of unworthiness, and I am so much more giving of gratitude to people and tend to withhold from self. I'm working on that shadow. Yes, and again, I'm going to really dig into this on another call. You cannot give at the capacity you want until you learn to receive in the same magnitude. And we're going to talk about giving and receiving, and I talked about that a little bit with Bob Burke's book, The Go-Giver, on Friday. But know that you cannot possibly give at the level you want until you learn to receive at that same level and magnitude. And it is absolutely the law of reciprocity, the law of compensation demands it. And so the second part of your challenge then is to offer that grace, to offer that gratitude to others. And the space that I want to challenge you first before, and feel free, if it's donating to your charity, if it's doing these things, all of that's fantastic. The thing I want you to do that's going to build a deeper connection over the next week is I want you to find someone every day to write a handwritten note of gratitude to. Not a typed on your email. Go buy a little deck of cards, go get some stationery, it's actual paper, pen. I want your handwriting. There's something that happens when we write. Our handwriting is part of our energetic footprint. When we allow ourselves to share our love and gratitude through our words, through the power of pen, it's a wonderful gift that we've lost in our culture because everything is so real time on social media and we text, and it's great to tell someone thank you on a text, but it's powerful to send a piece of love from a handwritten note. I have a box in my spare bedroom that is handwritten notes people have sent me. A lot of them are from kids. Kids are beautiful in this space. Draw pictures. I want you to find someone every day. Yes, stamps cost 50 cents. Okay, great. You're going to spend a couple bucks. I don't care. Deliver it, hand deliver it. I don't care. Leave it for somebody. I want to challenge you to write a handwritten note of gratitude, of thanks for somebody in your life, how they're showing up, something they did for you, whatever. And we'll talk about lollipop moments later on too, but I would call that a lollipop moment. I want you to write a handwritten note. Your writing, your rhythm, your energy, and I want you to come from it. And like Mario said before, I want you to smile, I want you to feel the gratitude, and then I want you to write it. And it doesn't have to be long. I simply want you to get into a practice of sharing that love and gratitude. It is such, by the way, it is a missed opportunity. So it also, not only does it going to make you feel good, make that other person feel good, and open up a deeper connection, it's also really good for business. It is one of the, you want to know one of the best marketing strategies? Direct mail and a handwritten note. It's amazing how simple that is, and people are missing it across the board. So my challenge to you is to find the gratitude in your own shame. And every day I want you to get into something different and find the gratitude there. And then I want you to also write a handwritten note to someone every day for the next 7 days to express your gratitude and love from them. And so, Mario, I have a serious problem of just receiving compliments without feeling like I have to return a compliment or justifying it. Yeah, we're going to do a whole session on this. A lot of us do, and what we don't realize is we're blocking the conduit of love. We're blocking the way to deeply connect, and we're not fully receiving a gift from someone else, which means we're not letting them shine. And we are absolutely breaking down the universal laws of reciprocity and things that have to happen. Because think about how you feel when you give someone a compliment and they don't receive it. It feels crappy. So think about that's what you're giving someone else. And so we're going to talk about how that space, and I'm going to use some language that's going to be challenging, is very arrogant and selfish when we don't receive the from someone else. And like I said, we're going to do a whole session on that specifically, but that's our opportunity to stretch and grow. And so Terry, thank you. And congratulations for sharing this with us. Very brave and vulnerable. I'm glad you were working on this. That the person that you talk to and who talks to you the most is yourself. So it's great that you're working on this for yourself. Absolutely. Which is why this is a two-part challenge. It's a two-part challenge because you can only give that which you've healed and done for yourself. And so I would start the practice with finding the gratitude in your shame, and then allow yourself through that healing to find someone to extend your gratitude to. And so awesome. I love that. I'm all in. Handwritten notes, huge lesson. Thank you for reminding me of this. Learned it years ago at a wrestling camp when I was in high school. They told us you could not compete at the highest level without a feeling of gratitude. Yes, you can't compete. And I would even change that to compete. You can't succeed. You can't win. You can't feel the most fulfillment and love and joy and abundance unless you truly get into a practice of feeling gratitude every day. And I'm going to introduce so many ways for you to tap into that space of gratitude. This is the first piece. And so Terry Post, I accept the challenge. Kay, I accept too. I'm in. Hand delivery makes it even more special for both giver and receiver. Yes. So I love that. I love that you all are taking this challenge. That is my throwdown for Thursday. It is all about how do you find the gratitude in your own shame and unworthiness, or feeling of unworthiness, because you are very worthy. And how do you offer that gratitude in a handwritten, energetic way from your own voice print to somebody else. And so love that. Any other questions or thoughts before we kind of close out our session for today? Wow, I'm just blown away at the way y'all are jumping in and supporting each other and lifting each other and sharing. I've learned a ton from you today, and I have just so much gratitude in my heart. One, that you join me every morning. I can't even express how much love I have around that, and how willing you are to show up and share of yourselves, because some of you don't know each other, and you're connecting and you're building relationships even here on this 7:30 coffee chat, and just so deeply moved by that. And so I just want to say thank you to all of you for how you continue to show up on these calls. It's a beautiful thing. Love you too, Mario. Love that, love that, love that. So with that, before I start bawling, because I'm going to have to redo my makeup apparently before I go do my speaking engagement. Woo! It's one of those days. That's all right. Tears mean something's connecting for me. So I love that. But I'm always sending you huge heart-to-heart hugs. Can't wait to hear what happens as a result of this challenge. Please share the goodness, the awesomeness, the stuff that's showing up for you as a result of this challenge. This is your safe space to do that. So share what's showing up for you personally, and share what's showing up for maybe the people in your life as well. And so with that, as always, this is your opportunity to deeply say yes to yourself, destroy the noise that's getting in the way, and know that you have the ability to choose how you show up and serve every day. And so I love you all. Thank you for joining me again. And tomorrow is Feature Friday, and we're going to get into some meaty stuff from my man Robin Sharma, and dig in to some more things that are going to level up your bookends, as well as the discipline and way that you engage in your day. So make it a truly terrific, fantastic, phenomenal Thursday, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.